What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action, spawning in the bottom of the map, playing as Isis. His name is Magic, the Magician, the Magic Man. His opponent today, he is a man of knowledge. He's a man of intent. He is a man who does appreciate the finer things in life, like a good nap. And the top of the map in the red color, it is Recon, as he is going to be showing us his Gaia on this auspicious of occasions. Relics on the map. Over here, we've got the Titan's Treasure, chilling there for a little bit of nice shenanigans. Over here, we've got the Kopesh of Horus as well, boosting up those myth unit damage. Over onto this middle side, we've got Tusk of Dang Kang, making those pigs spawn. And up onto this side, we've got Dwarven Calipers, making everything a little bit more cheaper on the siege shenanigans. But let's take a quick look and see what these guys are going to be going for. We've already got... Wait, I think Magic did it. I've been telling people about this tech for a while. Chop the tree with Isis. Wait till you have 3 wood in your hands as the with the villagers, and come over and drop a granary, and you will get yourself the wood for... Actually, he didn't do it. No, I don't think he did it. Never mind. Anyways, monument coming up over onto this left side with a nice little house on this way. One thing that Magic has been saying recently, to what I've been listening to, I've been enjoying his streams and all of his comments and opinions on the world affairs, on global politics, and also age mythology. He's been saying that, you know, Egyptian can't really play Egyptian like in old school Legacy. You can't really go for that defensive boom style. Personally, I'm not sure I 100% agree. I think there are some angles for a Legacy-ish style Egyptian, specifically with Ra and Set. But Isis, to be honest, even on Legacy, I couldn't really play a defensive Isis towards the end of the shenanigans. Most of it was pretty aggro stuff, from my memory at the very least, because you get punished so hard for trying to like get your 2 town center fast heroic off by pretty much everyone. You had to start thinking about doing 1 town center ideas, or hopefully getting a really nice map and getting some free wins with a timing attack. That was my experience. I know my experience is very different to other players though. So we'll see what's going to happen here as Recon is going up through Leto. I like this versus Egyptian. I think this is quietly one of the stronger options against Egyptians. Like, whenever you think about what like Egyptian is good at, you go, well, Egyptian players have got priests. Those priests are really, really strong because they're doing divine damage. It's only a tiny bit of divine damage, but they're doing divine damage. Which means players won't want to build myth units into them, right? But then what actually ends up happening is, if there's enough myth units out, all of a sudden they overwhelm those priests. And life gets a little bit tricky for the Egyptian player. I've had some experience with this, even going for Spirit of Mart Nepti priests, which is probably what Magic is going to do once he sees the Leto. Still, it can be a little bit tricky. Nonetheless, Recon going to be going for his fast second town center here. He's got himself 3 hero citizens already. Love to see it. Does mean that it's going to be very, very tricky here for Magic to get any sort of value with an early Sphinx out, and he's going to be completely fine there. Meanwhile, for Magic as well, he's going to be looking to drop this town center as well. Now, one thing that I have found success with playing as Egyptian, playing as Isis, playing against Atlantean when going for 2 town centers is be aggressive with your town center grab. Like, Atlantean, if they're going to go 2 town centers, they're not going to be able to deny it. So if they're going to grab the back one, they're not going to be able to deny it. If they're going for their own aggressive town center, you'll see it with the obelisk. You can run your villagers forward and have some sort of a villager fight if you like. Or you can say, great, take that forward town center. I'll take my back one and I'll put pressure onto that forward one. So there are some options to go for where that's concerned. As Sacred Cats coming through for magic.
You need to.
And his Sphinx now entering the main base of Recon. As Recon is taking just a little bit of damage here, but the Sphinx going to have to pull back. Not really going to be able to find a whole lot. You also have to remember there's back food on this map. Does Magic see it? Magic does not see it. He is scouting with the Priest, however, as he's going to be spotting it. Maybe with the Sphinx as well. Nope. Both players actually don't know. This is quite surprising for both players. Both players here are incredibly high level and have played Age of Empires 2. At least a little bit. I'm pretty sure Recon got fairly highly rated on Age of Empires 2 in memory. And in Age of Empires 2, pig scouting is really important. So I'm a little bit surprised to see Recon not going for the pig scouting, but I think maybe he didn't do it just because he's not really putting 100% effort into this game, to be honest. Like, if it was a tournament, maybe he'd bother going for that early pig scout, but not in this one. Nonetheless, the Sphinx still looking for early pressure. And Magic here getting away with a forward gold mine, getting away with his back food here. This is a really, really, really late fast heroic from Magic, though. He's dropping a market on the front as the automaton coming in to just check things out. But yeah, this is what I call in the business an insanely... Oh, he's not even... He's going for the town center on the front. The madman. The madman. If it's late, stop calling it fast. True. It's a slow heroic. It's not a fast heroic at all. But it's not even a slow heroic. It's a fast third town center. And he's obviously shown this to Recon. Okay, so why is Magic doing this? I guess is the question. Well, I don't really know. I think this is really scary for... This should be really scary for Magic. Because you've got Rhea as a potential to have to deal with. You basically have to classical fight here as well when you go for this town center. Which means that your priests are going to be really weak. But nonetheless, he does manage to get a little bit of pressure onto this forward gold mine. There's still 2,200 gold left in the main base, and Recon can very happily chop away at the wood over here. There's a couple of barracks coming up into the main base. What Recon could try here is a couple of oracles out into a whole bunch of automaton, one extra behemoth to spend all of that favor, and then just make Arcus. Arcus to snipe down priests, automaton to snipe down the barracks units, and he can kind of just break through. Maybe I'm wrong on that. He is going to be going for Volcanic Forge, Copper Shields. Young Earth said, just found a setting in UI, show global queue. I don't want a setting. I want a hotkey. I want it on for my own one. I don't want to turn it off and on every single time I play a game. I don't want to go like this, global queue, turn off. Oh, it still shows up anyways. Doesn't even do anything. It's just such a small thing that I just don't think will ever get added. Like maybe, just maybe you can figure out a way to just do it, like add a mod in to add a hotkey that does it. I'm not knowledgeable enough on the whole thing, but nonetheless, we're going to be seeing Contarius coming out here from Recon, which is a little bit scary. He's going to be able to get his raids off, But without those Arcus, he's not going to be able to snipe the priest. He's not going for those automatons either, which I think would be really, really powerful here. At the very least, you'd be able to have 5 or 6 of them out at only 6 favor, right? If he's at 36 favor, we can get 6 automatons out. He is going for some hero Contarias, however, as the heroic age is in for magic as well. So a nice little 3 town center grab into a heroic age. He's going to be able to drop himself that Migdol stronghold on the front and try and secure this whole position as he drops one back here first and foremost to make sure his gold mine's nice and safe. And Magic has now managed to just basically take all of the map that is important to him, and he's got it all safe. Wood income, safe. Gold income, safe. Food income for the time being, safe. Plus he's got himself Tusk of Dankang. That being said, got to be careful where those pigs are going. If you're going to be building priests out, the pigs are going to start wandering up this way into the fight. But into the main base, the Contarius for Recon come. He is searching for things to take out. There's, like I said, there's not really anywhere for him to go. Maybe an attack underneath this Migdol stronghold is an option. As Ancestors Eclipse drop down over here onto the front, however, the spearmen are coming. Little bits of damage onto Recon's citizens here as they dive into the towns, and no problems for the time being. But Magic now off to the races with some siege towers. I love this because this is like forcing Recon to engage with what Magic's doing. But he has to be careful. Sending one siege tower in, not really having that scout. I love the idea of this obelisk, just getting that obelisk up such that you can see if your opponent is going to be coming through here. As the trader gets dropped down onto the Scorpion Men, the Contari is coming in onto the back. There are 2 behemoths waiting in reserve right now as the town center going down very, very quickly. I don't think Recon can afford to be losing this here, as all the citizens in the world popping out. The Contarius swinging in right now to start getting huge damage done as another siege tower gets cleaned, and Magic is not able to break through that town center there. A great defense from Recon. Magic has to pull back out and think about where to go next. Really nice defense there, but Magic still got the villager lead, and he's also got himself those extra economic upgrades to level the playing field ever so slightly. That being said, actually Recon doesn't even have himself those heroic age upgrades. At least Magic has got himself Sacred Cat and Shaft Mine at the moment. Would be nice to change pick spawns to not follow gather point, but stay at the temple. They are actually changing it. They are actually changing it to spawning at your first built town center without moving away, I believe. That's in the public update preview, so very, very cool. As now it's Recon's turn to try and break through the town center of Magic. As these priests doing some decent damage. I don't believe he's got Nebty here. 5x, not 6x. Actually, let me just confirm that. Yeah, he doesn't. But it doesn't matter as... Wow, the Townsend barely stays alive. 2 Townsend is down to like less than 300 HP. 1 whack away from actually falling there. As Recon in the full retreat, he's back onto the Gaialush. There's the siege tower motoring forward for the time being. A couple of citizens to start shanking down Magic's siege tower here as well. And now Recon has moved himself over onto this spot for now, at least with a couple of units. But Magic has got all the momentum in this game. He's got 4 Migdols up for all the chariot archers in the world here to come out and cause max pain. It's wild. He's building chariot archers, but there's a lot of single infantry unit in for Recon here. These Arcus, I think they do slightly, very, very slightly more damage per population, and they have a tiny bit more range. But nonetheless, he does have the population lead ever so slightly right now. A couple of frontline spearmen is all he needs to sort of survive against the chariot archers. And then with that siege tower there as well, that's a great way to make that happen. A nice siege tower steal there as well, trying to take out the towns, and the village is going to pop through their garrisoning in and able to start shanking down the siege tower before the town center falls. Going to survive with 400 HP. No problems here as Recon continues to try and break through. You also have to remember that Magic has got himself heavy chariots to the medium Arcus, which are missing out on a big amount of damage here. So these heavy chariots are going to be doing nicely. Plus, we see the mercenary cavalry coming back in. A little bit rare to see these, but when you're actually versing this type of Arcus comp, you know, it makes some sense to do that, as Recon attempting to come over onto this side, putting up a palace here. Magic says, not today, my sleepy British friend. I have got myself some chariot archers, and it is all over for these citizens. He might be able to finish the palace off, but for what cost, as pretty much everything gets sniped down. Magic's going to leave here. He can actually get himself out some elephants here if he wants to, into the Migdol, and then start moving in to take that out. And not today, Sunny Jim. Not today at all, but maybe just a little bit today, as the citizen actually do decide to retreat back. Raids coming in onto Recon's Contarius here, as a hefty amount of camel riders now out. I like this. He needs those to deal with Contarius. And we do have crenellations in as well, so as the Contarius charge through, at least they're going to be taking a little bit of damage from the towers there. And Magic trying to break through this spot. Great use of choke points here, killing off those camel riders nicely. Which sounds funny when you say, you know, ranged units taking out cavalry units, but if you're in a nice choke point, that's how it works. That's the advantage of the ranged unit. Nice defensive unit there. But now more siege towers coming through. Magic does seem to be pulling away in this game, as he pushes in, taking out the Arcus, taking out everything else. On the left side, Contarius getting cleaned up as well, as the military barracks there goes down. Recon's town center, the next one to get targeted, as the siege towers. Can they fit through? Only one. Yep, 1, 2 fit through, but the low HP one's going to go down pretty quickly, though. The citizens will start getting cleaned up, as the camel rider to take out the town center here as well. And Magic looks like he has got himself the absolute lead in this game. And there's not much Recon can do anymore. He does have this gold mine over here completely open for the raiding. We are seeing a nice little attempt at Contarius shenanigans over on the left-hand corner. But 188 pop to 161 with 185 total. Looks like it's going to be very tricky moving forward here. And Magic says, excuse me, this town center is now mine. I'm going to go up to 5 town centers, because why not? It's a little bit greedy. These villages kind of needed on the resource gathering end, but there's a lot of spare resources in the bank for the time being. And Recon valiantly fighting along here, but 5 to 1 town centers is going to be a little bit of a stretch here. A little bit of a stretch here to find a dub, I think. But we'll see. As another prosperity. I love the second prosperity with ISIS. It's so good. As the unit's now coming over here, he's going to spot all of those citizens mining away at the gold mine. And I think that there might just be lights out. The citizens popping through to the palace. Recon going to try and block this in, but nice move here from Magic, pushing those chariot archers in to protect the siege tower. No way for the citizen to actually get through and shank this down. The camel riders over here meeting up with the Contarius. The citizens will try and make a break for it, but they will all fall on that retreat. Recon is coming over onto the gold mine here as well. He's still got a hefty amount of military. Actually, at the moment, Recon's got more military pop than Magic does, funnily enough. But Magic's got a ton of resources in the bank. Still, he's got only 5. I say only. He's only got 4 Migdols. He could go for this tech levy to get his units out much quicker. It's definitely worthwhile. It's a pretty cheap tech as well, all things considered. 68 wood, 135 gold. So definitely worth grabbing. As a nice fight here for Recon. He does manage to at least take one more decent push at the moment as Magic's units sort of out of position. But as the Camel Riders come through, it looks like the army is finished for Recon and Recon has to tap out. And yes, that is exactly how the cookie crumbles after all is said and done. And a really interesting game here. Both players go for this like big push onto a town center and both players kind of fail with it. I think what Magic did sort of, like, he had the idea, he placed the obelisk down, he just didn't build it. And I think this was the big thing. If he has the vision here of the units coming in, that gives him time to set up his positioning to take a fight. But because he didn't, or at least start running away, right? But because he didn't, he kind of got caught out, and that gave Recon the opportunity to actually completely demolish that army, and then he has the position to sort of attack forward. Following on from that, though, Recon, I'm not exactly sure what he was trying to do here. He gets 2 behemoths, didn't really have enough automatons out, didn't really take usage of Leto with the exception of that one tech which boosts the pierce armor up. You see this one here, Volcanic Forge. I think I would have liked to see an attempt at Arcus, automaton, and behemoth in this situation, rather than straight in onto those Contarius. When your opponent's going to go 3 town centers in your face, it's time to take advantage of that. That's a point of attack. Let's just ram it in there and show them the business, in my opinion. But he goes for the Contarius. Doesn't quite work out. Potentially also maybe going for Contarius Murmillo here, or Contarius Catapulti here would have been another interesting idea. Sure, he doesn't have access to the weightless mace, or the serrated blades, but there's not really any infantry units being made by Magic, so no real reason to go for the Arcus. Same too for Magic with the Chariot Archers. He probably didn't need to go for Chariot Archers. He could have just gone full Camel Rider here and absolutely wiped the army, but having the backup of Chariot Archers, I guess, does prevent Catapultis from just coming out and ruining your day. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.